Hey everyone, it's John here from Sonic Drive Studio. I hope you're all doing well. Grab yourself a glass of OJ because it's time for a big orange comparison with 12 different amplifiers. That's right, 12 orange amplifiers, so we're gonna have a blast. Orange amps are amazing. They are unique in sound, looks, and features as well. So color me a fan. Well, duh, John, you've got 12. The amps that we're gonna compare are the AD30, the TH30, the Rockerverb 50 Mark III, the Rocker 15 Terror, the Brent Hinds Terror, the Dark Terror, the Jim Root Terror, the OR15, the Tiny Terror, the Dual Terror, the Micro Terror, and the Micro Dark. All of them are full tube amp heads, except for the micro amps, as those are hybrid amps. A lot of these amps have a variable wattage setting, but for all the clips in this video, we're going to use the maximum power setting. Okay, so I wrote a song especially for this video with one of my favorite all-round guitars, my ESP LTD Phoenix 1000 Deluxe with the Seymour Duncans in it. It has a custom pickup in the bridge and a Fat Cat in the neck, and that Fat Cat pickup is basically a sort of P90. The song starts with a clean section on the Fat Cat neck pickup, then we get a crunch section on the bridge pickup, and then a high gain section also on the bridge pickup. It should showcase all these amplifiers quite well and also test their versatility. The signal flow is as follows. The guitar goes directly into the amplifiers, and all the amplifiers are being fed into my Red 7 amplification Amp Central reactive load. With the exception of the micro amps, those will be fed into my Captor X by 2 notes. Those load boxes will keep the signal honest, pure, and realistic, and that signal will be fed into York Audio impulse responses for the cap sounds. And I will only be using IRs from the ORNG 412 V30 package, which is based on a 4x12 orange cabinet loaded with V30s. And that cap choice was quite important to me, as I wanted to keep the sound of this whole video orange flavored. Each specific IR choice will be noted during the segments, and all the images of the amplifiers during the segments will show the actual amp settings in real time. I'm going to showcase the amplifiers in random order basically, so let's get started right now. We're going to start off with the Rocker 15 Terror. It's a 15 watt 2-channel amplifier with plenty of loudness options. The dirty channel is nice and dirty, classic orange with a fat mid-range and a sizzly top end. Not the most aggressive amplifier of the bunch, but it is quite versatile, so it can do a lot, as you'll hear. The one knob natural or clean channel is also very cool. Very honest and pure sounding, and that makes it great for pedals indeed. Let's check it out. That was the Rocker15 Terror, a great all-round orange amplifier with a wide range of tones and that true orange character. And it's quite versatile too, because of the 2 channels and the variable wattage ratings. Now let's check out the OR15. This charming 15 watt head does come in that classic orange head shell with the orange toe legs. In fact, it's the only small orange that has that feature. It's a simple 1-channel amplifier, but don't let that fool you. It's actually very versatile, as it can go from very clean all the way up to super high gain and everything in between. And all of that on one single channel, quite impressive. Its character is loosely based on the Rockerverb, but it really does have its own flavor going on, a little bit more vintage sounding overall. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this amplifier right now. Cool, I think this amp handled those tones really well. Pretty impressive for a single channel amplifier indeed. As you heard, there's plenty of gain on tap for the heavy stuff, but the crunch tones are also great and the clean tones are also very nice. Now let's check out one of the bigger heads, the TH30. This 30 watt amplifier has 2 channels, a clean channel and a dirty channel. The layout of the amp is quite simple, as each channel only has 3 controls. So it's a simple amplifier, but it does have a wide range of tones in it, and its character is also unique when compared to the other oranges. The dirty channel has the single shape control for the EQ, which is similarly voiced to the Dark Terror. It's basically a sort of 3-band EQ in one single knob. To the left it adds mids and cuts the treble and bass, and to the right it does the opposite, so it scoops the mids. So this simple control does have a wide range of tones in it. The dirty channel on this amplifier has plenty of gain, and it can get pretty mean sounding. Overall, it's a little bit more scooped sounding than some of the others, with a bit more of a sizzly top end. So I guess you could say that it's a little bit more modern sounding than some of the others, but it does still have that classic orange tone. And the clean channel sounds absolutely beautiful too. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this amplifier. awesome. So as you heard, great cleans and very characteristic dirty sounds with that more scooped and sizzly character. Still unmistakably orange, but still very well suited for the heavy player. Now let's check out the Tiny Terror. This little legendary 15-watt amplifier has been discontinued, unfortunately, but it's a great amplifier. Very simple and compact, obviously, but very powerful tonally. It does not have much options for EQ, except for the single tone knob, but it doesn't really need anything more than that, as it just sounds so good from the start. I dig the simplicity. And this amplifier is capable of producing some nice clean tones all the way up to some nasty and dirty and sort of raspy high gain tones, and of course everything in between. And that's a theme that carries through this entire collection basically. That's a very strong characteristic of all the amplifiers in my opinion. So like I said, the character of this amp is very raw and edgy, but still very full with plenty of mids. It's a great amp, just so charming, but it will also bite your head off when you need it to. Let's go ahead and take a listen right now. What a great sound. As I said, so nice and raw and very pure sounding. Those mids just have a very nice texture and edge, and that cuts through the mix very nicely. So rest in peace, Tiny Terror. We miss you, but luckily there is the used market. Now let's check out another discontinued amp, the Jim Root Terror. This was obviously the signature amp for the guitarist of Slipknot, but this is also a great little 15-watt single-channel amplifier. It's a great rock and metal amplifier, obviously, since it's the signature amplifier for the guitarist of Slipknot, a very heavy band. But again, it's very versatile for a single-channel amplifier. This amp was directly based off the Rockerverb, so it's very similarly voiced to that amp, but it still has its own flavor going on, a very cool sound indeed. Compared to the OR15, which is a kind of similar amp when it comes to the amount of gain, the Jim Root Terror has a bit more mid-range bark to it. So a little bit more suited for heavy rock and metal in my opinion. And the cleans are also surprisingly nice for a metal amplifier. Let's go ahead and check it out right now. eh? It's a cool amplifier, but too bad they're also discontinued. But luckily the prices are pretty good in the used market, so that's good to know. Now let's check out my most recent orange acquisition, the vintage voiced 8030. So this dual channel 30 watt amplifier is definitely the most vintage voiced amplifier of the entire collection. And it definitely has its own voice and character when compared to the rest. The overall sound has less gain, more clarity and bite, and the tube rectifier does give the amp a nice organic sag. The bottom channel has a bit less gain than the top channel, and it's also a bit more gentle sounding, so the top channel has a bit more bite and attitude to it. So I'm going to use the bottom channel for the clean tones and the top channel for all the dirty tones. And since this really is a low gain amplifier, I am going to kick in a boost at the very end of the heavy section, just so you guys can hear how modern this amplifier can sound when you put a proper boost in front. And by the way, also stay tuned for a dedicated demo and review video on this channel very soon. Let's go ahead and check out the 8030. Here we go. Very nice! And as you can hear, very different from all the amplifiers, especially when you can hear them side by side like this. So yeah, very vintage voiced, and I like it a lot. Next up is the Dark Terror. The feature set on this amplifier is very similar to the Tiny Terror, as it also only has 3 controls, but this one sounds more modern and it does have more gain on tap. It's a bit more scooped and sizzly sounding, and it does also have the shape control, just as the dirty channel on the TH30. Just a 1-channel amplifier, but again, a wide range of tones and even great clean tones. And to echo what I said before, the dirty channel on this amplifier does sound very similar to the dirty channel on the TH30. It's a killer 15-watt amplifier. Here we go. Great, very fat and gnarly sounding with plenty of gain, but still classic orange. Now let's check out another very interesting one, the discontinued Brent Hinds Terror, the signature amp for the guitarist of Mastodon. Now this amp looks very similar to the Rocker 15 Terror with its identical layout, but the dirty channel on this amplifier has a lot more bite, grit and attitude. It almost sounds like a cranked vintage Plexi or something, which is quite unique for an orange amplifier. The natural channel is very similar to the Rocker 15's natural channel, but it does have a little bit more of a warm tone to it. Perhaps it's not the most high gain or modern sound that you'd expect from this amplifier, but it still absolutely rocks. Let's go ahead and check the Brent Hinds Terror out right now. Awesome! Definitely a very unique sound with a somewhat pissed off vintage flavor. Now let's move on to the Dual Terror. This is kind of the big brother of the Tiny Terror with its 30 watts and dual channel design. So this amp has two channels, the Tiny Terror channel, which obviously sounds very similar to the Tiny Terror, and also the Fat channel, which is a bit warmer sounding in general. I really love this amplifier. It's just a Tiny Terror but with more power and more tonal options. What's not to love? For the clean and very heavy tones, I'll use the Tiny Terror channel, and for the crunch tones, I'm going to use the Fat channel. Let's check it out right now. great! This little amplifier has so much power and mojo for an amp of its size. I love it. And now probably the pièce de la résistance, the Rockerverb 50 Mark III. This is the biggest and baddest orange amplifier in the collection for sure. It's the heaviest and most expensive amplifier in the bunch, but does it also sound heavier than the little guys? Well, yes, it certainly does. It sounds absolutely huge. This amp has a solid weight to the tone and a richness in the mids that no other amp has. I love this amp. The clean channel is amazing actually, and it does have reverb, so I'm going to engage the reverb for the clean section. It sounds thick and warm, but the dirty channel of this amplifier is absolutely to die for. The attenuator is cool too, but I'm not going to use that for this video. But yeah, this amplifier is so full and chunky sounding, it just fits the mix like a glove. Let's check it out right now. Yeah, that was great. Definitely one of my favorite amplifiers of all time. It's just very unique sounding and it's also very good at what it does, so that's just great. And now the Micro Terror, a very small amplifier. While all of the other amps in this video were full tube amp heads, this is actually a hybrid amplifier, a 20-watt hybrid amplifier with just one single tube in the preamp. It's basically an affordable practice amp in a very compact size, but still with plenty of power. And a lot of people even use these things for gigs and for practice and stuff like that, so they are quite popular. I think it sounds pretty cool and raw. It's not amazing for the really high gain metal, but it does have its own unique sound. Let's check it out. Pretty cool, right? Especially the clean and crunch tones were pretty good. And now the final amp of this comparison, the MKIII Dark. And the MKIII Dark is very similar to the MKIII Terror, obviously, with a similar feature set, the same size, but it does look a bit more evil with its black finish. And it's better suited for high gain stuff overall, with its thick, high gain character. So it does have its own unique sound when compared to the MKIII Terror. And just as the MKIII Terror, this is also a hybrid amplifier, a 20-watt amplifier with a single tube in the preamp. And it does have more gain and sort of fatness and smoothness overall. Let's check it out. So that was it. I really hope you enjoyed this pretty in-depth comparison of all the orange amplifiers that I have in my studio. I love every single one of these amplifiers. They sound amazing, they are unique, and they also look really cool too. What did you think? What is your favorite here? I'd love to know, so be sure to drop a comment down below in the comment section. I love chatting about gear, so I'll be around in the comment section to hang with you guys and to talk about all things orange. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons down below, as that really helps the channel out. I'd really appreciate that. And you can also follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more exclusive content. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys soon. Cheers!